What's
Yes,
going on,
yes,
everybody? Again, we're back. We told y'all we was running it back.
yes,
5:30, we had Coach Damon Wilson, Morgan State Bears University.
yes.
Listen, Like Father, Like Son, Part 2, Season 5, Episode 5.
Five.
This is going to be an epic, insane, deep. This is that tea that you don't normally get, so you only going to get it here with Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio.
Right, y'all want to miss this. We got a lot of information coming up. A lot of people want to know what's going on with AB and RB and the decisions, and we're gonna get into it.
So before we jump the gun any more than we already have, we're going to go ahead and break y'all in the natural way.
You are now tuned in to Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio.
Yes. Welcome back, fellas. Welcome back, fellas.
Like Father, Like Son, Season 5, Episode 5 is going down. We got Robb Davon-Butler, straight out of PGH 412, Robert Morris University, NFL.
Let's go.
Hey, listen, but his son, I think I said on the last show, because this is Part 2.
Part 2.
I did say this was Like Father, Like Son, Part 2. Hey, listen, AB, official Aaron Butler, the phenom. Listen, I said you was better than your dad, my G. Push said you wasn't.
Hey, we gotta qualify. We gotta qualify these two assessors.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Let's qualify. So here's the question. All right, Pitts, have you ever played against me?
Nah.
Push, have you ever played against me?
I have.
He biased. So his word is more valid.
I mean,
off the rip.
I got an objective point of view because I didn't play against you or AB.
Fair. That's pretty good.
Let's go.
That's pretty good. Hey, you would feel differently if you see me on the field, though.
Oh,
hey, listen, he wouldn't be with a whole. Listen, don't do that to him. Don't do that to his ankles. Let his ankles stay intact.
Listen, AB, you a dog.
Let him live.
You a dog.
Yes,
your dad was a dog. I know you a dog, man. It's in your genes, bro. It's in your genes, bro.
But let's go ahead and just jump right into it.
Before we got to introduce him, right? We got to let him know what's going on. To know AB, you got to know who his father is, right?
Let's get it.
All right. We got Aaron Butler, Texas commit, right? He's going in for wide receiver, but he's an athlete. He can play anywhere he wants to, and I believe that. His dad believes that. I know that he believes that, right? He's a dangerous player. He's a threat. Anytime he touches the ball, he can play both ways at a high level. He's physical, as to be expected. Look who his dad is, RB. He's twitchy, has great feet, has great top end speed. This young man is a dog, ladies and gentlemen, right? But to understand him, you got to understand who his father is. Robb Butler played for Perry Traditional Academy. I used to hate these boys because they used to dog us on the football field, and we was pretty good. But these guys was on another level, right? At Perry, he won two city league championships and was cheated out of one state championship due to bad refereeing. How do I know that? I was there, right? He played a variety of positions: slot, running back, corner, and kick returner, much like AB does. From there, he played for Pitt. For 2 years, he played cornerback. Then he transferred to Robert Morris, where he played wide receiver for a season. And then for his senior year, he played strong safety, where he earned All-American honors. From there, Robb ended up in the NFL, going pro, playing for the Chargers, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. As we can see here, athleticism runs in AB's blood. It just comes naturally. Some things we don't have to teach. It's ingrained. It's in our DNA. Welcome to the show, fellas.
Let's go.
Man, I appreciate that beautiful intro.
Let's get it, man.
Let's go, man.
So look, before we jump into the questions, is there anything, and we'll start with Father, we'll start with Robb first, and we'll switch to you, AB. Is there anything that you want to say to the audience before we get started, you guys?
Just gratitude, man. 2023 was rough. But not to bring the energy or the vibe, but the call down. I think that adversity not only reveals character, it builds character as well. And so we got better. Everybody in my household got better. We all went through our own unique trials and tribulations, but we knew that those tests and trials came to make us strong. So I just want to begin the show, but I want to thank you two brothers for the work that you're doing. I want to thank you for following my son. I want to thank you for support of the Butler family on behalf of the whole tribe. And I want to thank your viewers, your followers, your listeners, your subscribers for rocking out with y'all to keep this going. Because it's been a couple years now that you guys have been rocking out, and it's only possible because of the viewers that you guys that have coming back to your podcast frequently. Yeah. So I know we do this for them. We're here for them. So I want to thank y'all.
Appreciate that, man.
Thank you, man. Much love, bro.
Yeah, I want to say real quick, everybody in here watching, make sure y'all thank God for the day, yesterday, the next day.
Absolutely.
And be grateful, be where your feet is. And I want to thank y'all for having me on this podcast, giving me the opportunity to shed light on certain things and give information and jewels that could maybe help an athlete that's going through the same things I went through, or just this being entertaining for people. So I want to thank all the viewers for coming and tuning in and following Pits and Push. And let's have a great show.
Let's get it. Hey,
this young man is very well spoken.
Hey, we said that last time. It's nothing new to us. It might be new to the listeners who may not have heard them the previous. And if you haven't, you go back to season 1, check them out, listen. And if you don't understand where we are now, I do urge and advise you to maybe go check out that one, and you'll see where the follow-up is from. But let's go ahead and get started, gentlemen.
Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into the good stuff.
So, AB, take us through the process and returns to, some of the highs and lows. Well, actually, before we get there, let's talk about you academically, because you can't be an athlete without being a student first, right? And you made a decision this year that I'm not sure anybody else would have done, right? You shut down your seniors, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you shut down your senior season this year, right? To focus on your education so you can graduate early. Take us through those thoughts and what led you to that point.
Really just the end goal, having the end goal in mind first. You got to take the necessary steps to get to where you want to get in the end, not just feeling what's best in that moment, what might be best for this day, what might be best for my teammates, or what might be best for the Calabasas community, the school, the head coach, etc. But it all comes down to the end goal for me, and my pops reminded me of that. And I didn't have all the vision on do this. So I knew when they was telling me you might not should do this, and it was on my heart, on my soul to focus on academics and complete the task at hand to get where I wanted to be, which is enrolling in University of Texas. And before that, it was whatever program in the month of January, which came into fruition. But I knew that was only possible with shutting down that season. So with that decision was really just the end goal was in mind a lot, and it was hard. It was tough every day. It weighed on me, and it was hard after, even just not playing, wanting to be out there. It's like it's in you. Like you can't not want to go practice or not want to go play. So you fighting that, but it all worked out when you got the end goal in mind. You still on the same path. It only helps you.
When you talk about the end goal, before you shut your season down, right? You played in 4 games this year. 4. We haven't even got throw-up stats from the previous years. I think just these 4 games stand out alone, right? Yep. 4 games, 628 yards, 20.9 yards a catch.
Amazing. that's free.
That's like a man amongst boys out there.
I wish I got to finish the season. It wasn't in God's plan, but the stats would have been crazy.
I mean, at what point? At some point, did you feel like you were just wasting your time out there? Like, not wasting your time, but like people weren't on your level, right? And so you're trying to do bigger and better things, right? And so sometimes you got to be selfish, man. Sometimes you got to be selfish and put yourself first, right? You got to be selfish and put yourself first. So I commend you, because that's the because your teammates depend on you, right? That's a tough decision. And where I'm trying to go here, what I'm trying to say is that, your teammates was dependent on you, right? But you took it upon yourself because you felt like it was something you were supposed to do, right? So you had to be selfish for your end goal, right? Right. So how did some of your teammates feel about that?
It was a lot of mixed emotions just coming from the team, coming from the coaches as well. You know, I definitely felt some shade from the coaches, and I could. That's just how they was feeling, and that's just how they was feeling, and I understand that. And you know, from my perspective, it felt like I had some support, and then I had the ones who was like, "F that dude," you know, like let dude ain't even gonna graduate anyway. Like he's just not playing and not play, or you know, we don't need him anyway. You know, that type of things coming from certain people. And in the position, it's not like it's a lineman saying that or another receiver. It's a very important position. It's we don't even need him. So just after I was like, I made the right decision for myself in general, because regardless, we all here playing football, and I've been on a lot of football teams and things like that before coming to Calabasas, where I had real brothers. I didn't have too many real brothers on this team. I could count on probably 3 fingers. Like I got his back here in the club, at his house. His mom, they need some. His mom need help. His sister need help. Whatever. His cousin need help. I got him. Like if you could trust, like my dad said, you trust a man with your wife, your money, and your kids. That's your real man's. I only got like two, 3 of those on the team max. So the backlash I got from everybody else wasn't not expected, but at the same time, it was like, dang, that's how y'all really felt all this whole time. Y'all just been jumping on my back, letting me do my thing. But in the back of your head, it's a different story. So hearing the receivers were happy to have opportunity to go and excel, and I was for them and supporting them. So we kept that good relationship. And just the coaches, they eventually came along. The players who were F that dude, the X, Y, and Z eventually came along and congratulations on your commitment, asking me how school's going, stuff like that. And I just kept it cordial, but it was definitely the best decision for me to make. And a lot of the responses I got wouldn't have been the way I responded if someone else did that, because I could see and I understand this is not football is not a game. You know what I'm saying? People don't play football just because they love it. It's got to be something. You got to love it, and it's got to be more than that. I need to set up my kids.
Oh.
So I'm not worried about, once I already secured what I needed to secure in high school, did for myself, that's when it becomes that selfish part. Okay, does this team want to win? Are we looking at winning the championship? Are we working hard every day? Are we doing all the right things? I'm going to Taco Bell and then coming into practice after working the shift. So it's like I don't got time to be wasting when I'm doing a whole second semester of school online while I'm working. So it got to that point where that selfish decision had to be made to help me get to that end goal. And man, that the support plus the hate, it all made me a better person. So I'm grateful for the experience, and it was eye opening.
Can I jump in there?
Go ahead.
I was about to say, Rob, what's your take?
Yeah, because I want a couple things. One, everything he said was spot on, and it was opportunity for him to understand human beings in the stages of grief. You know, these were guys who looked up to him. Some of these guys never played football before or put on shoulder pads and helmet until he introduced them to the game when they were, 9th grade, 10th grade. Training some of these kids to try to like teach them the nuances of the game outside of practice, outside of the field. To see the disappointment and the anger ensue right after he made his announcement is like, it hurt his feelings. And he's a tough kid. Like he's mentally, spiritually, physically, just a tough kid. And he wouldn't walk around with his head down, but I know my son. I know when he's kind of disappointed. I'm tapped into all my people, all my kids. So I knew when he's kind of like downtrodden, like, dang, I sacrificed my body. I stayed here for 4 years through 3 losing seasons.
Yeah.
Right. And I stayed down 10 toes. I make one decision for myself, and I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
But I knew, being wise, being older, that would pass. I knew that that's just the initial response and reaction to learning that you wouldn't be going to war with them anymore. And the biggest thing for me was, I asked him, I said, do you think you could have completed a year worth of school and finished the season? He said, no. I said, well, then then there's nothing for us to talk about. Like, So I want to leave you with this before I turn it back over to you guys. Selfishness has a negative connotation in the culture. Just like consequences. Consequences has a negative connotation associated with the word, when there's nothing inherently positive or negative about either of these words. Sure. I want the listeners to understand you have to have the wisdom and the discernment to know when to be selectively selfish.
Yeah.
Absolutely, bro.
You can't love. There is no self-love without selfishness.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Mm.
Because if you need a massage and a stogie or a bourbon or a cognac as a grown man, or a manicure or a vacation, or to shut your senior season down so that you can graduate, to guarantee you're going to get to the next milestone of your critical path to becoming a pro, which is going to college early so that you can get acclimated, immersed in the system, learn how to be a student athlete, give yourself a good chance of competing in the spring, to give yourself a better chance at being a starter coming out of the summer ball. Like, what are we talking about here? So I gotta commend this dude. Y'all see me big him up, but y'all just see like the tip of the iceberg. Y'all don't see all the other stuff that he's doing behind the scenes and overcoming to be who he is.
Right.
It's
To be great.
And to be great. It's remarkable.
But understand this too, AB. And I'm just talking to you directly in that sense, because I don't, and you don't, and just like your pops just said, just like Rob just said, that you don't, selfishness doesn't always have to have a negative connotation. It was actually where I was going to lead to. But also understand too that people will celebrate you in your face, but hate on you behind your back.
Absolutely.
That is life in reality of life in this generation and beyond. Like the same people that they need your talents. Yep. But they don't need you as an individual. They want you as long as you're doing something for them to make them shine.
Ahead,
so when you talk about your coaches, because I feel some type of way that I'm not a coach, but to think that a high school coach who has a player like yourself, who has every school in the nation at his doorstep, would feel some type of way that you've given blood in, blood out for 3 years on a losing team, and you still made them look good as a school. Record-wise, it was not good. But you brought them notoriety that they didn't have before you. Like, let's just start there. But for a grown individual to be mad at a young man who has the whole world ahead of him, he has his whole life ahead of him, to make a decision that is best for you, I think is immature. Because that tells me that your coach cared nothing about your future. Your coach only cared about how he looked as a coach and what he probably promised to some viewers or to somebody that comes sit in the stands and say, I got a talent that you ain't never seen. Mm-hmm. He couldn't make good on that because you made good decision for you and your future. You had every school in the nation, man. Every school in the nation looking at you. Beyond the fact that your team was unsuccessful in the win-loss column. That says a lot about you as a person. It says a lot about you and your integrity. It says a lot about you as a character. That means they see the future value in you. So I'm glad, and we already know because we know how your pops is, but don't ever allow someone else's thoughts and feelings dictate the emotion that you feel for a decision that you made for yourself or for your family. Stand on who you are, stand on what you believe in, and never let anybody sway your feelings into making you feel like you made a wrong decision.
Feel like you're wrong.
Yes,
right.
sir. Now that's 100%. You had a lot of good points with that. Like after making the decision and seeing those things and from the people you wouldn't expect, like certain players, coaches, things like that, it make you just like, man, it make you realize that decision that I made couldn't have been the wrong one. If this is how you really feel, or when I got a little cold, everybody watching a little sick. So when I went to coach and I'm like, Coach, hey man, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I think is the best situation for me. I know I'm not gonna be able to finish this schoolwork and finish this season. Like I just had to quit my job. I had to go to my boss, tell her I quit 2 hours before my shift because I'm making this decision. Like these shifts is too long. And we ain't have no other workers at Taco Bell, so I'm taking other people's shifts. Or I don't got nobody. I need you to come in. The team is low. Had to be selfish in that situation, and I understand she's gonna be upset. She's only happy when I come in and I'm mopping in the floor and I'm sweeping, I'm taking out trash and doing stuff for her. But when I got to do what's best for me, of course she's upset. And then seeing that it was the same thing from the coach, kind of in the same way. Like this Taco Bell lady, I don't know her. I came in. I know you since 8th grade. So. Everything I played quarterback for you. I brought you my papers and showed you when I was injured and still played in the games hurt. You know what I'm saying? So you can't question. Like we went 2-8 or 3-7. I recruited the whole team. Everybody that came over my sophomore year to junior year, I knew they was my friends. They were all seniors a year above me. We go third round playoffs, lose 3 games during the regular season, like 8-3, 9-3. This the following year. So everything I did these past years, everything I did in general for the program just wiped off the table when I go, hey, coach, I think this is best. And then it's, you know what the backlash is going to be on that, right? You know that's a bad idea. Ooh. You don't know how that's going to go. Trying to make me nervous. Or if you do it, you're not going to be able to play for us ever again. You can't switch your mind next week.
Right.
Oh, man.
So
Wow.
I'm set on my decision, coach. I'm set. I'm set. Are you sure? What? I'm sure. And we rocked out from there.
So you know what? We're not going to give that coach and that school too much limelight because the segment is about you. Because we're going to get into the juice of it. The Colorado, the Texas University signing. We're going to get into the juice of it. So we're just going to let that lay where it was. So let's go ahead and jump into it.
Let's jump in one of the questions. All right. So this question has something to do, with like the recruitment process, y'all. What have y'all learned during the recruitment journey that needs to be shared with either an athlete or a parent, because things are changing fast and in a good way for athletes?
You want me to start? All right. So from I'll go parent view, and then Aaron will go athlete view, and then I'll come back.
Correct.
Okay. And if there's anything that I feel like he left out, I will just add to it some color from an athlete's perspective. Being an athlete who went through that same process in a different era, right?
Right.
So I have both perspectives as a player as well as a parent. So from a parental perspective, number one, have somebody who's well versed in football, like the scheme and the business, and NIL business in your son's life, in your athlete's life. If it's not you, it could be a coach, it could be an uncle, it could be a friend of the family. Hell, get in touch with me. Like I'm here to. I don't want anybody to fumble through this process because it is a life-changing process. And so what I would say is this: outside of having the information when it comes to recruiting, what do you need to have academically? Have you guys registered for the NCAA Eligibility Center, and are you tracking the athlete's path to graduating? And now in today's game, I highly recommend, and anybody watching this that has a young athlete as a parent, structure your kids' high school credits so that they can matriculate or graduate a semester early from the outset. See, Aaron didn't realize that he had the potential to graduate in December until May of this year, which is why we had to cram a whole second semester in a whole year, really in one semester. So if you're an 8th grader, 9th grader, 10th grader, start taking some summer school classes right now so that you can have a surplus on the credit side so that you don't necessarily have to cram a whole semester or a whole year into one semester. You can actually play your senior season and know that when you get done and you're going to be able to graduate in December, January. So that's one. 2, have criteria. Don't go into recruiting willy-nilly. Oh, this is great. He's being recruited. He's got some letters. We're talking to coaches. Start to think about what is your criteria and you weight them. So a set of criteria, I'm going to give you some examples. Academics, right? Graduation rate, major, and the rankings of that major within the national landscape of collegiate or universities, right? Or even global, if it's a globally recognized program. Like UT has a globally recognized communications department called the Moody's College of Communication. Moody's number 5 in the world, not the nation, in the world, as far as their communications department. That's important. All right, so let's talk football. Relationship with the coaching staff, scheme, how I fit in that scheme. What's their vision for me? What's the depth at my position? How many people are returning? Which is very fluid because back in the day, there wasn't this thing called the transfer portal. You can look at a roster and say, this looks like a good situation for me. There's only 5 players at my position. Transfer portal opens up and then closes. You got 8, 9 people. You just had 5 people at your position a month ago. Now, you probably would have made a different decision had you known there was going to be 8 receivers in the room and you make 9. Like, you're not making the same decision. So understand
that it's a marathon and not a sprint. So there's ebbs and flows. So you have to have your criteria that's rooted in your values, because that's the only thing that you're going to be anchored in. When all these coaches start coming at you, they start talking NIL money. You be like, oh, that's pretty. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, how much you gonna give me? Whoa, we gotta go back to the values. We gotta go back to the criteria, right? So let your criteria be your guiding light. And last but not least, then I turn over to Aaron.
Yeah.
The athlete has to make the decision for himself or herself. After all the data and all the empirical, experiential, information has done, the athlete has to meditate and pray and make that decision for him or herself. That is not the parent's decision.
Yeah.
Can't do it. You cannot make a decision for your kids. You cannot live vicariously through your kids.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right about that, bro.
Those are my points. From the athlete perspective.
AB.
But from an athlete perspective, repeat the question for me one time, please.
It's what have y'all learned during the recruitment journey that needs to be shared with either an athlete or a parent, because things are changing fast in a good way for the athletes?
This opportunity that you're given in college, coming out of high school, going into college, with NIL now being a thing, which it wasn't back then, is game changing. So the big thing I'll say to these kids, 13, 14, 15, you're a freshman, you're a sophomore, I hope that you're aware of the fact that you could change your family's life. You could help put yourself on a different trajectory. You could be a lot of dudes touching six figures, young and more at a young age. So my thing is, the first thing I would say is make sure you know the NFL being a great or just making it for you, whatever your end goal is. Maybe it might not even be the NFL, but say the NFL is your end goal. Know what you do through high school, going to college is going to prepare you to start touching some chicken at that time, making a difference at that time. So I never knew that. Not never knew it, but it didn't hit me till my junior year. Probably junior year after I played junior season. Like going into college, it's gonna be a good it could be a good situation for you. That you didn't expect. Growing up, you think you go to college, it's free. You got a free dorm. They're not gonna pay you nothing. You're just gonna play football. It's not the case. It's not the case. And there in NIL, second thing I'll say, be a businessman or have a business team around you. Think smart, and even as a young man, you're gonna need some elders around you to help you think smarter, even when you think it's smart. You know what I'm saying? You think you got the game figured out. So be a businessman. So you could be in high school, you could be in California. Certain states is NIL is a thing where you can make money in high school. So you can do contracts and deals and things in high school. So I didn't know that coming here. So if you come into California or one of the states where it's legal, you go into that situation and you a baller, you a top player out that state, the brands and the people in the area are going to want to work with you. So then you in that opportunity to make $30,000 off a deal, $10,000 off a deal, whatever. It could be $5,000, but that's money for a high school kid.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of experience, and it's gonna help you grow. It's gonna help you groom into a man and things like that a lot faster when you already been dealing with the game. So don't wait to get your kids involved with things like that, or maybe you should even wait till they have the first deal that comes along and really just give them the blueprint already, give them the rundown, show them how a contract works, things like that. Make sure it's just not all about football. You still think about the business side of it. And then third thing I'll say to the athletes: take care of your body. All parts of your body, take care of your body, your dieting, your stretching, X, Y, Z, things like that, because you only get one body, and your body's like a car. So if you, like Pop said, you got a Lamborghini, you put some 86 fuel in a Lamborghini. that Reggie. Yeah, that's not gonna get your engine going. You know what I'm saying? So focusing on that as much as possible. And then those three things. Then the fourth, I would say, it's gonna go by faster than you think, man. Like y'all know what I'm saying. If you're a freshman, before you know it, you enrolling in college. You know what I'm saying? You enrolling in college, before you know it, you walking the stage and throwing that cap off your head, graduating college. So be in the moment each day, and each day do the things, attack your goals, and do the things that's gonna propel you to that place. Because before you know it, that place will be there. And if you just been sitting there, you're gonna be like, oh, yeah. Life is real. Life is serious. So the big thing is day to day attack the things that you want to go after, because before you know it, the opportunity is gonna be gone. And then another big thing I'll emphasize: it don't matter if your kid is 5 years old, 6 years old, I recommend you start training him to make him better because he's going to have to see people like me that I've been playing since I was 5, 6, and 7. He ain't playing no football. He's going to get punched in his face. He's not going to want to play with me. He's not going to play on my team.
That's
He's not going to play
facts.
versus.
Facts.
That's
It's not
facts.
going to
I
work
got my
out.
son on it, youngin. I got my
Yeah.
son watching your videos, AB. I got young
Yes, sir.
Zilla on your videos.
So-
I'm
I'm
telling
going to
you.
keep inspiring him.
Yeah.
So when we talk about, and I just want to say for both, those was very great points. I like, Rob, how you gave points to the parents. Even those who may not have kids in school now, if you missed that part, there are any parents out there who have children that are athletes and they're, will be going to high school soon, and they're serious about being an athlete, and that's something they want to expand to the next level. Go back a couple minutes earlier and see the points that Rob laid out, because that's free knowledge that for a game that's changing not only on the field but financially as well. It's a landscape that's shifting so evidently that it's great to have that knowledge, and I'm sure there's a lot of parents who probably wish they had that information before their child got to this point. But for those who can utilize that info, I definitely urge you to go back. AB, great points from an athlete perspective. For
I got
those
one
who
more.
may not have known, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So you in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, you see other people around you getting offers and stuff like that. Keep your head down. You can't pocket watch nobody. You can't offer watch nobody. Don't be worried about what coach offer who, things of that nature, and know who you are and yourself and have that confidence. So when you come in 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, those is the most kids is getting thrown offers. Let's take 8th grade out of it because they didn't even play in school. 9th grade and 10th grade, I got 30 offers in between that time. 9th grade, 10th grade, or 10th grade hit, boom, they all hit like 25 throughout sophomore year. Do not waste no time with your freshman and your sophomore year. Do all you can as a young bull to be able to be prepared to play on varsity. Do all you can in that off season leading up to it, the one before that, and the one before that if the kid still has time, because playing on varsity as a freshman changes the game and it helps you out a lot, especially when you're making an impact. You starting both ways, you taking spots from the seniors and whatnot that's been there. That's what helped me. That's what helped for me. Like COVID, due to COVID, I only got 5 games my freshman year. It only took 2 games for USC and 3 other schools, Penn State, all them to call my phone.
Wow.
Pitt,
USC, Penn State, Pitt.
I got 3 offers in the span of like 24 hours, back to back to back.
Wow.
Woke up, Pitt called me, went to the gym. We leaving the gym. Terry called us from Penn State. Then another one. So it's just focus on going in your freshman year and taking over on varsity. That should be every kid's goal. Basketball, football, soccer, volleyball, water polo, the top dogs. Put me with the varsity dudes, and then you need to eat them up. And you do that, man. The sky's that's get the film, put it on the tape, put the film on the tape, and then another thing is try and be connections, whether it's a player or whether it's a coach who played, things like that. If anybody can shop that stuff around for you or send it through, like, oh, watch this real quick. You never know what that's gonna hit back for. You never know what coach can send your film out. He don't even got to be a coach at your high school. He can send the film to a connection he know, or I can send the film of my friend to somebody. I got 40, 50 coaches in my phone, and that coach could give that kid a scholarship today. So you gotta stay ready so you don't gotta get ready academically and on the physical side of things and being a smart athlete and things like that. And the opportunities will come if you work for it.
That's crazy. You said you was getting shots from USC, Penn State, and Pitt,
2 games.
like back to back, just from 2 games during COVID years.
2 games.
Yep, I think the most offers I got in a day was 6. It'd be crazy.
So, so when we talk about the offers, right, we're just gonna go ahead and jump into it, right?
Come on, let's get
Like let's just go ahead and
Let's
get to
do
the
it.
meat of the story, right?
Let's do it.
Because we see you sign with Texas, but there is a story before Texas. You were already committed to another school before Texas, right?
Yes,
within Colorado. Decommit like a week or 2 before signing day. What changed your mind?
It was a month.
I think it was about a month or 2. But
Yeah.
the thing that changed my mind the most, well, I would say the integrity of the coaches and where the locker room was at. That locker room presence wasn't for me. You got dudes like Coach Brew, and I ain't gonna get into too many other coaches, but there's
Right.
coaches who left that situation willingly. Like this ain't, this ain't. They
Yeah.
know this ain't right. So I stand on good business. whether it's with the janitor or it's with Barack Obama or whomever. So when I see good business isn't being done, or people are being lied to, or not everybody being taken care of the way that one promised so, or promised so's parents, or just said things that they couldn't even make happen or didn't have the resources to make happen, that's when it became
Hey, Rob. Hey, Rob, can not to go too deep. I'm pretty sure it's some things that you can and can't say. Can you provide some context
As much as you can.
as much as you can?
Yeah, I would say,
wait, give me 1 second. Coach Prime didn't watch my film either. That's another thing for me. Like, I only needed to watch a play and stuff like that. The way he run the program is just not for me as a player. That's not my type of head coach. I need a 24/7 head coach. He's all about ball. He's not off doing commercials. He's not posting this, or he ain't got to get his makeup did to do this and that. He's my football coach, and he's his a husband and father to X, Y, and Z. His job is football and family. And it's just about the guys. So there's no head coach that's not gonna watch a kid's full tape play by play and really give him things he could work on and things like that. You can't just watch a dude's tape and be like, I only need to see one play. I know what you can do. Like,
yeah.
So
we're a ball family. Like, we live ball, and Nick Saban. He was on the phone with Nick Saban, right? And he started early on in the process. We started to develop some questions that we can ask every coach. And one of the questions that he liked most was, what did you think about my tape? And based on the film that you watch, give me something that I can take and go back to the lab with. Like, give me something
some substance.
That's Aaron's question to the coaches.
That's great. You got to give me some substance back.
Yeah. He So Nick Saban is like, oh, well, I like this. I think your run after the catch is amazing. I find you to be very twitchy. You're explosive plays, short distance, how you move and how you conduct yourself away from the ball. When your teammates have the ball in their hands, you're blocking downfield, finishing off blocks, finishing guys through the ground. I'm like, yo, Nick Saban. Coach Saban, looked at your tape.
Right, Alabama.
His tape is 10, like, his highlight tape. Now, mind you, he played 4 games he played 5 games as a freshman,
4 scrimmage.
Well, you did have some. So he played 4, 5 is 9 plus. You did do a full season your junior year.
Nah, I played 9 games.
You played 9
or 8,
and then you played a full season your sophomore year.
Nah, sophomore year my head. I played injured my sophomore year. I never played a full season.
You played in less than 30 games.
Yeah, I played in less games than a lot of people in high school. Games. A lot of people in high school played double the amount of games I got to play in.
Yeah. And so, I mean, he did what he did in that shorter period of time, but my point was his highlight tape was like, this is the highlight tape. It's all touchdowns. It's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes.
Crazy.
All touchdowns, because he was scoring every 2.7 times he touched the ball.
Crazy.
Mathematics. Right? So he was only getting the ball 3.8 times a game and scoring every 2.7 times he touched it.
Crazy.
So
that metric is crazy, bro.
Before you, real quick, and I'm gonna let you finish. If anybody has a question for AV or for Rob, go ahead and add it into the chat.
So just to tie a bow around that, man, it's just like, I would say personally, when the big dog, when Big Bro first got there, we were excited. We were excited for many reasons. We were excited for the culture, and it was bigger than AB. And so he committed in May. Then we saw the product. Then you got to see, what the locker room is like and what the culture is like. And it just came down to not being the best fit for him. Like I said, he thought and he felt in his heart of hearts that he wanted to be a builder, like a part of something in creating a legacy. It quite frankly, it was just too much show for him. It was too much, like it was just too much of a reality TV show type of situation. Not that it didn't have some substance behind that, but he just really let's just focus on the ball. Let's just focus on the ball. Let's focus on winning. And I'm not saying that they're not doing that. It's just a lot of other. It's a lot of distractions, if you will.
Yeah, that's it. That's all.
It's a lot of distractions.
On top of Coach B, it was a lot going. My receiver coach who recruited me, and it was a huge part of my recruitment and relationship. I had the strongest relationship. I had the most conversations with this receiver coach and stuff like that. His job was in the air. It was a little iffy. I don't know what's going on, things like that as well. I don't know what's going to happen or what the next 2 weeks look like.
So we wanted communication.
So I was like, I was pretty lost because Coach Prime and me don't have direct conversations. I don't know if you got a new receiver coach coming in, if we stand with Coach B. Like,
who's the OC going to be? Like, there was a lot
I said, connect me with the OC. I don't think that happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
So, again, like we making life decisions, and the circumstances have to be right. Like, the business got to be right. The ball, the dynamics have to be right. And it was, it just wasn't a great fit. But here's the thing. For us, there's no love lost, man. There's no hard feelings. There's a lot of fans and Buffs fans and AB fans that really wanted to see him at Colorado with Coach Prime because for the culture, like, it all makes sense. Yeah. I get it. He's a dog. Coach Prime wants dogs, smart, fast, tough, disciplined with character.
Plus, he was teammates. Y'all were teammates in the NFL too.
Like, what are we missing? But this is his life, and when you know, and he didn't see and feel what he needed to see and feel to. You know what I mean? To stay locked in that situation, and I don't blame him. So I think that dovetails into how Texas came about.
Right. Well, Rob, I wanted to ask you a question, right? And for those who may not know, Push drove off on Robb's credentials at the beginning. Robb was a standout athlete himself who played in the NFL, and with that connection, Robb, because it wasn't just for the school, right? It was also, there was a personal connection as well. How do you mitigate and how do you navigate those realms, especially when there's a personal relationship as well, even though it's pertaining to AB? How do you weigh those out?
That's a great question because I actually grew a lot personally and professionally through this process myself. What I learned about myself through this journey was that I'm in sales. For those of you who know, I'm in sales. I'm a sales leader. I never identified myself as a people pleaser. Yeah. I would have not have called myself that. But throughout this process, I got to experience, like, sometimes you have to, like, you got to take all your concerns about how people see you and what they're going to think about you and, like, really do you and honor your convictions. And the reason why I say this is because, to your point, guys, I played ball. So most of the teams that recruited Aaron, I would say probably half of them, I knew somebody on that staff. Not that I made a phone call for them to offer Aaron. They was already on his top. And they'd be like, well, who's on the staff? Oh, I played with bro, or I coached with him, or you know what I mean? He coached me. Like, in some cases, it was like, yo, he coached me.
I would get an offer, and we would look through the staff to see if he knew any of the people on the staff, just to check, and it was usually like one.
Yeah.
You know, like, I played with him, I know him somehow, then they would connect, get on the phone, be like, Robbie?
Yeah. After the fact. So they would offer and then find out that he was my son. Wow. So the reason why
like Nick Saban.
Like Nick Saban.
So that's how did Nick Saban, what you say about Nick Saban?
He flew to Pop's house. He flew to the crib, right? Mm-hmm. He came to the crib, met moms and everything, sat down with him and my grandmother trying to recruit him. So when he got on the phone with me, I was like, Coach Saban, you remember going to Perry, going out to Perry and going out to Pittsburgh to see Robb-Butler, right? He was like, quarterback Robb Rutherford? Yes, sir. He was like, man. He was like, that's your dad? I was like, yes, sir. He was like, oh, man. He's like, oh, man. I was like, you remember? He was like, of course I remember. Started going into it a little bit. I called Pops after. He was like, man, he remembers.
Yeah. Wow. So Nick Saban remembered recruiting you, Robb?
Yeah.
Who flies to the Pittsburgh in the trenches?
Man, he had to remember. He's in the project.
He had to remember.
Like Coach Saban was in the project.
You in the hood.
Yeah.
You in the hood.
Like, shout out to Pittsburgh, man. Shout out to Pittsburgh.
Nick Saban in the projects of Pittsburgh. He went up to Northview Heights to see Robb Rutherford and then came down the hill to I was living off of Spring Garden, Spring Hill bottom area, and he came to the crib. And he wanted me to play corner for him, but he wanted to redshirt me. So, he liked my size, 6 foot 190, 4'4" guy. He's like, man, we gonna come in redshirt you. We got 2 seniors, and then you could be a 4-year starter for me. I was like, I stopped listening to him after he said red shirt. I didn't know.
He didn't have what I have.
I didn't have the mentorship. I didn't have.
Hey, Aaron, say that again.
He ain't got what I got, but that's God's plan. I just got to take it and go back to the way. I wish I could have been his dad. I would have been like, man, if you don't go take that red shirt and go start with Saban, go to the NFL first round, first 5 pick.
Yeah, that was foolish. But just to finish the thought, the reason why I say that is because it's important to note that you are going to hurt some feelings. There might be some relationships that you value that may be a little weird after you say no, right? And so at the end of the day, I had to look myself in the mirror and say, listen, if these guys are my brothers, right? Like there's many other guys, other schools that I played with as well, that I know way more than I know Coach Prime, as I haven't had any communication with Coach Prime since we were on the team together for 90 days and he retired again, right? And I came back the next year, he was gone. So there's plenty of relationships where it's like, yo, bro, he's making a decision. It's not going to be y'all. I had to have those conversations honorably before he went public. It's hard. And it's hard letting people down, but it's easy to walk in your truth.
So you had to, so that's, I'm sorry, Push, because I know you got a question. So and I was going to ask, how did that conversation, like, how did you come about to even having that conversation? Did you even have to have a conversation?
With Prime?
Yeah.
Colorado? Nah, we talked to our point of contact. Our main point of contact was Aaron's recruiter and wide receiver coach. And I think he knew before we told him. He kind of seen the writing on the wall, if you will, because Aaron and my wife had took a trip to UW, unofficial, right before he no, I think he took that trip after you decommitted.
I decommitted and I didn't want to take the trip as a commit.
That's right. He didn't want to take any trips as a commit because he thought it was disrespectful. I commend him because I'm looking at all these other 4-star, 5-star dudes who are committed. I'm talking about number 1 receiver in the country type, and they're still taking trips, like official visits.
Yeah,
and it's all over the internet. Nobody says anything, but if he did it, I just felt like, dude, you can't move like that. Like, we just going to honor our convictions and stand on our beliefs and our values and our integrity. And so he decommitted before he took that unofficial visit to UW.
Wow.
With Mom.
But I had been in communication with my receiver coach and expressed things to him and certain stuff, and we had been having, certain conversations, and we just got to that point where we're like, man, we ain't gonna be able to get on. It ain't looking right, and he was like, you got to do what's best for you. He's like, you know what that is, type of thing. And I was like, I got you, coach.
AV, I'm sorry, dog. Like, you played in almost 30 plus games as a high school student, dog. You had every school in the nation calling you since a 10th grader.
How many total offers?
How many total offers did you get in general?
Like 43. Yeah. 43. I stopped reporting them on social media at one point. Just started receiving the calls, put it in my notes. That's another one.
So we decommit from Colorado, right? And the next thing we see the unofficial trip to Washington, right? And we see you out there in the Huskies, purple. But then we see you in Arizona, and it looked like the toss-up was between the two. And then there was a twist. What happened?
Why the Longhorns?
I had relations with Washington and Arizona since sophomore year, and it was tough, man. It was tough. And the Texas came along, and I looked at the youth of the programs. Arizona's team is younger than Washington's team, as far as the dudes that's in the program to have the ability to make big impacts as juniors and seniors, instead of the dudes going to the NFL. So Washington sent it more to the NFL, lose a quarterback, lose some receivers. It's more, you got to build that. You got the program, because it's somewhat of a rebuild, because you got the coaches, and you got the ins and outs of the game, but now you need the pieces again. So just replacing those pieces, I'm thinking about that. I'm like, okay, being strategical with it. Then you look at Texas. Texas is more similar to Arizona as far as it's a young team. You got the quarterback who's young, sophomore, going into his junior year. You got another quarterback right behind him who redshirt freshman in Arch Manning. and he has great potential in Arch and Quinn. Quinn's he's projected to be the Heisman Trophy winner next year. He's in that race, and that's all for projections. He got to go play, but I feel as if the D-line is young. I feel like we brought in a lot of 5- and 4-star corners, and the corners is going to be going at it. The best man is going to play. We're going to have a really good DB room and safety room, and I think that by that sophomore, junior year, we'll see what happens next year. It's still gonna be a big run, but that sophomore, junior year, everybody gonna understand why I chose Texas.
Did you do an official visit to Texas?
I didn't even need to see it. I'm about business now.
Yeah.
Hey,
AB. That's what AB means. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
About business.
man.
Yes, sir.
Hey man, so look, let's jump into this spring season, man. What are some of your goals going into this spring season when you step on campus? Like, what do you need to set the tone immediately? What are some of those goals?
Just establishing dominance in the room as far as with the players, like their whole receiver room, they gonna know who I am. Like they gonna see what they need to see. You know what I'm saying? To understand if you might not be in right now and I'm running this go ball, you know why I'm running it. You know what I'm saying? Just having that trust in me, the quarterback having that trust in me, the coaches seeing this kid's hungry, showing the coaches I never turn down no knowledge. I fear God. So on the field it's gonna be this kid, he's blocking as hard as he can. Weight room is gonna be like he's hungry. So just coming in and showing them, man, I want to soak up everything that y'all have to offer from the weight room to the food to the information, getting with the analysts, learn the extra stuff I can, calling my personal DB coach I used to work with, having him draw the defenses up for me, break stuff down, how to make it easier for me to move in between these zones, man, coverage, do this, X, Y, and Z. Just being a student of the game in every facet all around, and then taking care of my body and my sleep and my preparation, just coming in every day, and I want them to say kid professional. I want to say kid is a professional within my first month of being there, just off of how I've been handling myself, and then hold that expectation, have that ride through all the way to the NFL. And then when I leave, they'll be able to say he was the first one there and he's always one of the last dudes to leave. You know, he had a lot of information on the offense and he knew defenses and stuff like that, but he always wanted more. You know, so just going and being around those people and not taking advantage of the opportunity I'm given and the people I'm blessed to be around.
RB, could you touch on it? Like, what are some of your goals that you might have for AB, you know, for his first spring season?
Well, first and foremost is don't forget who you are. Like it's more existential for me because I know that if any of our kids stand on who they are in any environment, then they're gonna be all right. Like it doesn't matter what you throw at them, right? They're gonna be all right. So number one, know who you are and remember who you are in every way, shape, form, or fashion. Be honorable across the board, right? Be a man of integrity. Number one. Number two, expect to fail, but know that failure is a part of the growth process. It is a precursor. It is a prerequisite. It is a necessary dynamic and phenomenon that you have to experience in order to grow. Just like when you're in the weight room and your muscles atrophy and you tear down those fibers and it's sore and it hurts and it hurts and it hurts. But then you go back into the gym and now you're putting up 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds more than you did last time. You have to go through the pain. You got to go through the fire to experience and enjoy the gain. So when that happens, don't beat yourself up. Yeah. And then lastly, it's all mental, right? So that really undergirds everything that I just said. Like you have to keep yourself in an empowered mindset. All right, I messed up. I'm taking accountability for it. The more I try to deflect and dodge accountability, the longer it takes for me to get the lesson and actually do the work to grow. So you messed up, look yourself in the mirror, own it, clean it up with whomever you messed up with, put some infrastructure or structure in place to make sure it doesn't happen again. However it looks, just become a master problem solver. And I think that's the fourth thing is, you know, after having a strong mental is become a master problem solver. That's what it means to be an adult. Adults are just like grown ass problem solvers, right? Like y'all probably still play video games. He played video games all the time like a little kid. That's what kids do. Nah, but the thing that really separates us from the youth, besides age, is the wisdom and our ability to solve problems and mitigate them. So this is all part of life's journey. And then number 5, if you ever get jammed up, if you ever are uncertain or unsure, Man, me and mom's is a phone call away, bro. Like,
I thought he was talking about if I ever get jammed on the line. I was about to say tripping.
if you get jammed up on the line,
I thought he was saying they gonna try and press me.
Don't come home. If you get jammed up on the line, bro. You can't come home.
But nah,
Hey,
that's
they competitive, bro.
Hey yo,
They relationship
hey yo,
competitive,
I
man.
love it, man.
Yes.
So we're gonna go ahead and wind down. But before we do, AB, National Championship, college football playoffs was going on. So you committed to Texas, and then they were in the college football champ. Was you watching as a future player for the college football playoffs and a teammate or were you just watching the landscape to see how everything play out? And were you rooting for Texas?
Of course I was rooting for Texas, of course, because that's my squad. And I was watching.
He was against all odds in the house too.
I was watching as a football fan and also as a future player in it. And from my perspective, I'm just looking at the DBs a lot on both sides since I play receiver. Just these dudes, I love DBs.
Yeah,
I ain't even gonna get into that too much. I had a great time watching it though. But I think that watching that game really just it made me a little mad for sure because we got all the athleticism. We got all the dogs. Now we young, just putting it together. Coaches being disciplined, players matching that disciplineness and doing what they are being coached to do. And I know that type of game right there that we just lost is a game that all those players that were in that position, they have that experience for next year to not let that happen. Not let that little game slip away like that or not miss so many opportunities and things you need to capitalize on. Because what I seen, it was just a very undisciplined game by Texas in honesty because they had the most penalties they had all season in that game. That's the highest. They've never had that many penalties in one game, and it was over 10. So you're shooting yourself in the foot when you got over 10 penalties and the other team has under 5.
I tell you what, man, Texas is going to love your energy. Texas University Longhorns is great to have. They're going to be blessed to have you. Your energy, your transparency, your leadership, your attitude, all of those things will shine bright as long as you stay true to who you are, which we already know the case, because your dad, it's a prime example. And Rob, we want to kick the last question off to you real quick. We ain't going to punt it to AB. We're going to punt it to you because we don't want to put him in that position. But who you got, Washington or Michigan?
Oh, it's UW. There's no question.
I'll be honest with you. Washington, the best team in the country right now. As far I don't lie for nothing. I say a team. A team. What is it? A team.
A team
Can't be beat.
Can't be beat.
Won't be beat. It's not gonna happen.
All for one.
One for all.
And one for all.
That's what they got going on. It's a brotherhood like this. So they'll
what's
die
up.
for each other. Like when Texas boys is really gonna die, we all gonna die, or we gonna win this game? We ain't never gonna die. We gonna win every game.
Absolutely.
They gotta have that same mindset Washington got, because the Washington boys, they ride or die.
Hey, I can't wait.
I can't. Yeah.
Hey, we
to
can't
see
wait.
you, man.
I've never been to Texas before. You been to Texas?
Nah, man. But look,
I think we
we might need to make a trip down there.
I can't wait, man. Listen, congratulations again, man, AB, on your success.
Congratulations to RB too.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Definitely want to shout out Pops, but we definitely don't want to take anything away from you, because even though you got Pops and your mom's there as the foundation, you still have to go out and do the work yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? So it don't fall on what moms and pops did, because you still got to put in your own work. So I won't take away, yes, the foundation, but the fact that you still in alignment and putting in your own work, man, and your mindset is sharp and it's smart. And I can't wait to hear the stories. We can't wait to keep it, top it up when you get to Texas. Can't wait to hear about spring ball. We definitely going to come back with a Like Father, Like Son part 3. We're going to talk about that Texas Longhorn spring ball. We're going to jump into it. We thank you. Pits and Push Sports Talk Radio, Season 5, Episode 5. Again, catch everything. Bowie TV as well, Comcast, Channel 77, Verizon, Channel 11. Man,
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram,
iHeart, Google, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. But this was a great one, man.
It was great.
This was a great show, and we just appreciate you guys for being transparent, because We didn't know how it was going to go, especially when we talked about University of Colorado and Deion Sanders and them, and knowing that, Rob, your relationship, but just wanting to see how that all unfolded. And AB, you nailed it on the head. So we thank you guys very much. We thank everybody for joining with us and staying with us for this hour. It's going down. We'll be back soon. Pits and Push, Sports Talk Radio.
You are now tuned in to Pits and Push.
Hey. Hey.
Hey.
Is that little outro?
The outro.
Enjoy y'all day.
Stay blessed.